stop taking action, you're going to burn yourself out and you're not going to get where you want to be. Or you're going to end up somewhere and realize, oh, this is actually not where I wanted to be. Or it doesn't bring you happiness. So I'm telling you, like, jump ship right now. Get connected to what you actually want. And then once you get connected to that, you're going to make a decision. Welcome back to Create Your Fate. I'm your life coach, Meg Ellis, here to help you create your best life ever, beginning with your thoughts and your words. So today we're actually going to dive into action, which is something that we don't typically do, but I gotta share this story that inspired this podcast today. It actually happened this morning. I was a guest on my friend's podcast, and I just had this huge takeaway that I had to share with you guys and actually bring it on to Create Your Fate. And you know, one of my favorite topics to talk about is traffic. So I'm driving out to his studio, and it's about typically a 20-minute drive. It ended up taking me well over 45 minutes to get there because there's insane traffic. There's a light out. There's a tractor trailer situation. I'm not really sure. I think there were 2 lights out. But here I am sitting in this insane traffic, trying not to get upset about it because I listen to my podcast too. So I'm like, hey, don't be upset that you're late. Just shift into gratitude. At least no one's hurt. It's just the light out. And so I'm sitting there, and at the same time, I'm thinking all these things and saying all these words to myself. And I'm like, okay, you know what? You know what I'm going to try and do? Is I'm going to try and go around this traffic. And so I detoured the one way, and I ended up right back in the same traffic, going the opposite direction of now where I was supposed to be going. And so I detoured again, and the same thing ended up happening. So I ended up actually sitting in this traffic 3 times instead of 1. So, I'm a human just like anybody else. So I'm starting to get upset, and I can feel myself getting upset. And I said, you know what? I don't want to be late. I don't want to be late. And, reframing my thoughts and my words, which is what we do on this show. I'm an NLP practitioner, neuro-linguistic programming practitioner, meaning I'm a practitioner of this, not just a theorist, meaning I have to abide by my own words, too. I can't just preach them and not do them. So I'm like, okay, I don't want to focus on what I don't want, being late. I said, okay, I want to get there quickly. And it was at that time that I said that where I saw a bus in front of me, and the bus number was 999, which is an angel number, right? Anytime you see a series of 3 or 4 numbers in a row, it's an angel number, which can symbolize, hey, you're on the right path. We're here. We're guiding you. You're good. Just relax, right? We got you. So I had this moment where I took this big, deep breath and I said, whew, okay, I'm good. Right? And so I ended up getting there quickly, and we talked about why people don't hit their goals. And my traffic excursion, we'll call it, actually led perfectly into this conversation. And it was such an enlightening topic of conversation that I actually wanted to share it with you guys as well. So if you want to hear my interview with my friend John, it's tagged in the notes. But I did want to just talk to you about why you might not be hitting your goals. And it's about that time of year where, that the New Year's resolutions and the goals that we set out on January 1, it's about that time of year where that stuff starts to fade, right? And we get busy or you get distracted. And I'm going to bring back my traffic incident of talking about what I didn't want. I didn't want to be late. I don't want to sit in this traffic. I don't want to find another detour that's not going to work. I shifted into thinking about what I did want. I want to get there quickly, right? Got my little angel number sign from the universe, and traffic actually did clear up pretty quickly after that. I was able to get to a U-turn. So if you are at this place where you set a bunch of goals at the beginning of the year and it's looking like you've gone off course a little bit, well, we're about to make a U-turn because I'm going to tell you why you are not hitting your goals. And the first thing is, just like my traffic incident, you set your goals based off of something that you don't like about yourself. And I know I've talked about that on the show before, but if you set your goals based in something that you do not want, you will not be connected to them. So that might be a reason why you are giving up on your goals. What were your goals that you set up for yourself at the beginning of the year? So I'm going to use my friend John's example, and where at one point in time he was very overweight, and he had this goal of losing 100 pounds. So we talked about his journey about that, and why it works sometimes and why other times it doesn't work. So the same thing, if you have this goal of losing weight or starting a side hustle, I have a goal of being on a TED Talk, right? You got to make sure it's rooted in something that you actually do like, because you will be more connected to something that you do like and more likely to actually follow through on something that you do like. So you have to make sure your goal is rooted in something that you like. So in my friend's instance, he wanted to lose 100 pounds because he was very unhealthy. And you can sit there, and if you're someone who wants to lose weight, you can sit there and say, oh, I don't like all this excess weight, or I don't like the way I feel. In his case, it was very severe, as someone in his family gave him some tough love and said, hey, you're not going to make it until you're 30 if you keep this weight on. And so this fear-based goal, which sometimes does kick you into action, and we'll get to that, but you got to think, okay, am I making this goal based on something that I don't like? Oh, I don't like all this excess weight. I don't like my 9-to-5 job. Or am I making my goal based on something that I do like, right? I want to feel good about myself. I want to be able to move freely. I want to be able to walk the park, right? You have to shift your mindset into framing your goals around something that you actually do want for yourself, not that you don't want. I don't want my 9-to-5 anymore, so I have this goal of starting this side hustle. Well, no. Frame that around something that you do like. I would like to get paid to do something that I'm good at and like to do. So when you shift that perspective, you are more likely to stay engaged with it and then follow through on the action. So let's talk about action. This is a huge reason why people do not hit their goals. And it is simply this: you are starting with the wrong piece of the puzzle, my friend. It is not about action. Back it up. I will literally sit here and tell you, stop. Do nothing. Do nothing until you believe in what you are doing. So stop starting with action, and you have to back it up. Your belief that you want to lose 100 pounds, or your belief that you're going to start your side hustle. Right? For me, I have a belief that one day I'm going to be on TED for a TED Talk. Right? You have to believe in what you are doing. You have to believe that you can do it, that it is achievable for you, and that what you want actually exists. Because if you just go off and immediately jump into action, that is called incessant action. You will just try this, try this, try this, try this, and nothing's going to stick. So if you are somebody who is going after your goals and nothing's sticking, and you're just kind of throwing spaghetti at walls and nothing's actually working, then back it up and stop doing action. I want you to have action later, but it has to stem from your belief. Do you believe you can do it? Simple as that. Do you believe you can do it? Because if you do not believe that you can do it, why are you wasting your time? You have to shift, back it up. Why don't you believe you can do it? Why don't you believe that you're the person who can be on a TED Talk? Why don't you believe you can lose the weight? Why don't you believe that you can start a side hustle that could turn into something that could replace your 9-to-5? Why don't you believe that? Start there, because your beliefs fuel the potential that you tap into that then fuel your actions. So when you actually get to the point of taking action, it's not incessant action. It is inspired action, and you're very intentional about the action steps, and you feel dedicated, you feel committed to them because they are inspired actions. You feel good about them because you believe ultimately that they are taking you where you really want to go, because you believe that you can actually get there. So back it up. And you have to believe that you deserve it. You deserve to lose 100 pounds. You deserve to have a side hustle that takes off and replaces your 9-to-5. I deserve to be on a TED Talk. And then if you have to sit back and think about reasons why, do that. Because you are going to get the life that you identify with. And if you just identify with somebody who wishy-washy wants this and thinks it might happen in the future and it might not, you don't believe it's yours and you don't believe that you deserve it, you're not going to get what you actually want, which is your goal. You have to think about reasons why you deserve it. Period. That's it. Why do you deserve it? You might actually have to revisit that list daily. And if that's what it takes, do it. That is an inspired action. Revisiting why I deserve this. Revisiting why I believe I can do that daily. That is an inspired action that is going to get you closer to your goals because it's going to help keep you committed. So that kind of leads into another reason of why people don't hit their goals is because they give up on them, because they're not connected to them. If you are not connected, or if you have a goal that you are going after because somebody else told you to do it, there's no connection there. And if you're not connected to it, you're going to give up. And here's why you're giving up. So you're going to assess, am I doing this for me? Am I doing this for the right intentions? Am I doing this for the right reasons? Is it something that I actually want? Is it something that is based off of something that I actually want? Or is this just something that maybe somebody else suggested for me, or I think I should do, or this person did it, so maybe I'll try it? You know, you have to feel that deep connection and that deep belief. But then you have to make a decision for yourself, and nobody else can make this decision for you. And this is why it is so important to be connected to your goals and make sure they are something that you want to do. You're going to say, why do I want to do this? Why? I believe in it. I believe I can. I believe I deserve it. Check, check. Third question, why do I want this? And see what you come up with. That's a really great indicator to see if you are actually connected to what you want. So if you are not connected to what you want, if you're somebody who's like, you know what, I think I'm just doing this because, my uncle told me to do this and it might be a good idea, then you're not ready. Stop taking action. You're going to burn yourself out and you're not going to get where you want to be. Or you're going to end up somewhere and realize, oh, this is actually not where I wanted to be, or it doesn't bring you happiness. So I'm telling you, jump ship right now. Get connected to what you actually want. And then once you get connected to that, you're going to make a decision. And the decision has to come from you. Nobody else can do this for you. It has got to be you. You are going to make the decision. If you have realized, yeah, I deserve this, I believe in it, these are the reasons why I want to do this, you have to make the decision that it is going to happen, that you are going to do it. So if you are not getting after your goals, if you are not getting what you want, if you are starting to give up on your goals, you have not decided that you are going to do it. It's not up for discussion. It's not up in the air. It is a choice. It is a decision. I am going to lose 100 pounds. I am going to start my side hustle. I am going to be on a TED Talk. And that has to be tied into that belief. I'm going to do this. My belief is I am going to do this because I have decided. And when you have that power of a decision behind your actions, there's no going back. You don't sway, of course. You don't get distracted. You don't stop. And you certainly don't give up because you have already made that decision. Period. It is a decision. It is a choice. And there's meaning behind that. And so spend some time. Have I made the decision that I am going to do this? Because when you make that decision, then you'll start to notice you will tap into your potential more. Your actions will look different and you will be committed to them. Because I have made the decision. I'm not just throwing spaghetti at walls anymore and seeing what sticks. No, I'm doing this. And this is how. And we get so caught up on the how it's going to happen. How is it going to happen? That stuff gets revealed to you. The how gets revealed to you once you make the decision. But if you're just worrying about the how before you have made the decision to actually do it, it's not going to work. That I can promise you. So you have to back it up, make the decision first, because then it turns into not a, well, can I do this? This is where the how comes in. How can I do this? And your mind starts to generate forward-thinking solutions to help support something that you actually want. Do you see how this is all aligning here? Right? Everything has to be in alignment. I'm telling you, you can get whatever you want if you are aligned. And on this show, this is what we talk about. I tell you how to align yourself to get exactly what you want, create your best life ever. And with that comes goals, and with that does come some action. But let's make sure they're inspired action that you feel good about, that you feel connected to, that you feel committed to. And that comes after the decision. Because if I have made the decision, I'm going to lose 100 pounds, well, it's no longer, can I do it? No, I've already made the decision to do it. How can I do it? So let's go into this last little piece of it. You might not be hitting your goals because you're not setting any. And a lot of people don't set goals because they're scared, or they set too big of goals, and that scares them into not even taking the first step. Right? So you're either not setting goals in the first place, and you're definitely not going to get them if you don't set them, or you're setting too big of goals where you can't see it at all, right? Because you got to be connected to it, right? So we believe in it, we deserve it, we're committed to it. Now we have to be connected to it too. So that connection and that commitment comes with setting SMART goals. So you got to set goals, first step, right? And then you have to know how to set your goals. Because if you set goals that are too big for you, they're going to scare you. You're going to think, oh my gosh, 100 pounds, I don't know how to lose 100 pounds. That sounds daunting, so I'm not going to do anything at all. Wow, I want to be on a TED Talk. I don't even know how to even apply for that. So I'm just not going to do it at all. Right? I wouldn't even know the first place of where to begin, and then I have to take all these, public speaking courses, and I have to get this training and this plug, and I don't even know, so I'm not going to do it at all, right? Same thing with I want to start a side hustle. Well, I think I have to do something with an LLC or a business, and then I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know how to outsource all these products, and where do I get all these things, and blah blah blah. I have to make a website. It's too much. And I'm going to sit there and tell you, yes, it's too much. So you're going to dial it back and start small. So you're going to set SMART goals so you don't overwhelm yourself, because the fear feels real, y'all. The fear feels real. Your ego will try to always keep you into what you know, even if what you know is making you miserable, because your brain has convinced you that misery is better than uncertainty. Your brain has convinced you that not being healthy, not being safe, that being so miserable in your job, so unfulfilled, doing what you're doing, is better than uncertainty. And we're here to debunk that. And we're going to do it small. We're going to set SMART goals. Set SMART goals, meaning they are specific. You have to get very specific about what you want, because remember, the universe likes clarity. You have to get clear on what you want. It's also important, the more specific you are, the more you can be able to visualize it. And we'll get to that in a second. So SMART goals, specific, measurable. You have to measure your success, because things that can be tracked can be measured, and you feel successful, right? I'm going to lose some weight, right? And I'm going to make this specific. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. And how am I going to measure it? I'm going to weigh myself once a week. Attainable means it's going to be achievable. So let's think about, how can we lose 100 pounds? It's not going to happen overnight. So let's talk about realistic. They have to be realistic and time-bound. So I'm going to lose 100 pounds in 1 year. Okay, let's break that down. That's about, 8-9 pounds a month? Okay, so 2 pounds a week. That's much more attainable, achievable. I can actually wrap my head around it. And so from there, now I can take inspired action based on, I really want to feel good about myself. I want to be able to move. I want to be able to walk the park. I want to be able to lift my kids. I want to be able to have kids. I want to be able to live long enough to have a family. Now I'm going to set weekly goals that are smaller, and I feel connected to them, and I feel successful. And what happens is, when you start tracking small progress, you can actually celebrate small progress. So you might not be hitting your goals because you are not celebrating the small wins. And when you celebrate small wins, something happens in your brain. You get a big rush of, oh my gosh, yes, this feels great. But we never do it because, oh, well, I didn't lose 100 pounds yet, so I can't celebrate even the 2 pounds that I lost this week. well, I hit my goal. I lost 2 pounds this week. That's great. Let me celebrate it, because your brain wants to celebrate more because it feels good. It's kind of like that sugar rush, but a sugar rush of celebration, we'll call it. Like, ooh, this feels good. Okay, now I'm inspired to go out and do this again because I really liked celebrating it. Ooh, okay, I want to do it again, because that celebration and that being proud of yourself actually feels good. So when you are going off to get your goals and achieve all these things, allow yourself to feel good throughout the process. Don't wait, and don't think that you have to wait until you are 100% done to celebrate. So you're going to celebrate along the whole pathway towards your goals. The journey can be enjoyable, especially if you base it off of what you want. If you believe that you can have it, if you believe that you deserve it, and if you are connected to this, you know it comes from you. So you're going to make this choice, this decision to stay committed to it. And that is how you hit your goals. So if this episode spoke to you, if it was exactly what you were looking for, make sure you subscribe. We talk about this content all the time. Send it to a friend who is also on their journey and could use a little motivation to hit their goals. So that's all I got for you today. But of course, if I could leave you with just one thing, it's this: expect good things always, and they will happen. Be sure to check out my brand new digital course, 21 Days to Positive Thoughts. Go from being consumed with negativity to actually thinking kind things about yourself in only 3 weeks. That's right. Head over to letscreateyourfate.com or check out the link in the notes to get 21 Days to Positive Thoughts now. And for a limited time, you can get the course for only $29 when you take my free masterclass, Manifesting 101. That's right, 2 courses for only $29. Download them today and start creating your best life ever.